This time, on Only in America, we go from Des Moines, Iowa to Tijuana, Mexico, with a few stops in between.
Only in America.
Only in America.
Only in America.
Only in America.
Only America.
Only in America.
The separation of families at our southern border sparks hundreds of rallies around the country as powerful voices bring clarity to the debate.
It makes me sad to know that children can't be with their parents. I don't understand why they're being so mean to us children.
The young Muslim Americans sharing a religious tradition with their fellow student and their local communities.
I learned that not everybody's a bad person. Meeting some great people through this event has just changed my outlook.
And a U.S. soldier comes home 14 years after he was deported, advocating for immigrant servicemen and women.
These guys will fall through the cracks, or let's say a guy gets deployed to Afghanistan. The last thing on his mind is making sure citizenship is, while you're out there fighting in the sand or, in the jungles. Yeah, that's the last thing on your mind is citizenship.
From the National Immigration Forum, I'm Ali Nirani with Only in America. Something remarkable is happening. As we celebrate Independence Day by honoring distinguished immigrants, the American public is paying attention to the immigration debate in an unprecedented way. Listen to the sounds of the weekend rallies in big cities and small towns. There was a diversity of race, age, geography, and gender that I have never seen in an immigration march. Americans are opening their hearts and their minds to the stories of the immigrant community. Here's 12-year-old Leah, the daughter of undocumented immigrants, addressing the rally in Washington, D.C.
Our government has to do the right thing and stop separating us from our parents and stop locking us up. I won't give up fighting for the right to stay with my mom. I am not asking for a favor. It is my right to stay as a child, to live in peace with my mother and the rest of my family. Mom, yo te quiero mucho. Lucharé por ti siempre. Families belong together. Say it with me louder. Families belong together. Thank you.
This week, as we celebrate July 4th, the Carnegie Corporation of New York, a supporter of the National Immigration Forum, paid their annual tribute to a group of naturalized citizens who enrich American culture and strengthen our democracy. This year's honorees represent nearly 30 different countries of origin, united through their experience of becoming Americans. Vartan Gregorian, the Carnegie Corporation's president, shared his thoughts on what this all means.
Well, America is land of immigrants. Persons who would attest to the fact are Native Americans, because everybody in America came as a pilgrim, as a refugee, for religious freedom, tolerance, or opportunity, or conquest. So America is a nation of immigrants. The thing distinguishes about Americans, phenomenon that distinguishes Americans, is the fact that people came to America not for economic opportunity, but for religious tolerance, freedom, dignity, and opportunity to be individuals and to be part of a community of their choice. So America is land of immigrants.
Even better, one of this year's honorees is a friend of the forum, Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo, a Cuban-American who told me last fall about how his city benefits from embracing immigrants.
If we continue with this mean-spirited political debate here, people have options. They have other nations. They have Australia, New Zealand, all over the civilized world. We're going to be competing for immigrants. So I think we're a nation built by immigrants, sustained by immigrants, and it will be continue to be sustained by immigrants into the future. And so I'm hoping that what we're doing here is painting a factual picture of what immigrants need to be felt welcome and what the value is for all Americans when we act in that manner.
I used to think the kind of outpouring we've seen over the last month would be a result of our ability to simplify the story, boil it down to just the bare essentials. Instead, I think Americans are actually becoming more comfortable with the complicated and the contradictory nation of the immigration debate, which has led to this incredible level of energy and curiosity. So if curiosity leads to respect, how do we hold on to the public's curiosity? Well, we need to keep it complicated. Simplifying immigration, painting the issue as a binary choice between are you with us or are you against us, only pushes people to the corners. The fact is that for many Americans, the question of immigrants and immigration is complicated by factors that include security, culture, the economy. Ignoring these factors, simplifying the message to skip over these fears, just leaves people confused and skeptical, which is what's happening when #AbolishICE becomes the clarion call of the left. Look, since its inception, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has been an agency in dire need of accountability and, frankly, a rethink. That need is more acute than ever when a majority of ICE's top criminal investigation agents want to spin their division off from the agency. According to the Texas Observer, who first reported this letter, ICE's controversial detention and deportation policies have made it hard for them to conduct investigations into threats to national security, organized crime, narcotics smuggling, and human trafficking. Or, well, to put it another way, criminal investigators at ICE struggle to keep us safe because of ICE's approach to immigration enforcement. There's nothing simple about an argument this important to our national security. I'm Ali Noorani.
Support for the National Immigration Forum comes from the James Irvine Foundation, expanding opportunity for the people of California.
Only in America comes to you each week from the National Immigration Forum. Check us out at immigrationforum.org, where you can subscribe to the show on your favorite platform, and take a second to write a review on iTunes. Let's start in Des Moines, Iowa, where Fez Zafar is a 16-year-old Muslim American high school student. Concerned about the divisions he was seeing after the 2016 election, Fez wanted to do something to bring people together. He decided to organize a series of Iftar dinners, the meal eaten by Muslims after sunset during Ramadan. Fez, through these dinners, wanted to encourage discourse across racial, political, and religious divides in homes, schools, and colleges. Earlier this summer, I was honored to speak at the Iftar dinner organized by Fez in his hometown. Before the dinner, I chatted with Fez and his fellow organizers in the World Food Prize Hall of Laureates in downtown Des Moines. The group of students was from Roosevelt High School, East High School, and Valley High School, all in the Des Moines area. I asked the diverse group, starting with 18-year-old Stacy Cabenda, what it was like to grow up in Des Moines.
Growing up in West Des Moines was really hard for me because I went to a predominantly white institution, so I was one of the only black kids in my class all the time, so it was always hard to find friendships, and it was always also really difficult to know where I fit in, trying to figure out why there was different stereotypes on me because I was black, and trying to also figure out how to live in a society that was different from my parents' teachings.
My name is Isabella O'Connor. I was born in Des Moines, and I've lived here basically the entire time. I moved to Italy for 2 months, but I missed Des Moines so much I came back. But when I was in Italy, I learned a lot about Des Moines. I learned how different living in this city that's an Iowa. It's a city, but it's still in Iowa. So people are kind. They know each other. It's just it's the best place anyone could grow up, in my opinion. My schools were diverse, even though we didn't always have very much money. I still had incredible opportunities educationally with our public schools, and to get involved politically with our caucuses, and just to meet incredible people throughout.
My name is Anna Van Hukelum. I would say I did enjoy growing up in Des Moines. I mean, it is the heart of the United States, and I think it's a really good place to come back to after you're done traveling. I think I would not have wanted to go to a different school than Roosevelt, especially with the diversity that I experienced there. I think that helped me branch off and learn how important it is to have acceptance for others, and it got me involved politically, like Isabella said, and I was able to find myself stepping up in leadership positions in different clubs and organizations.
My name is Vanessa Kaura. I was born in Kampala, Uganda, but I moved to the United States when I was 3 years old. I did not grow up in downtown Des Moines or Des Moines in general. I grew up in West Des Moines, and it was really difficult, being the only black kid in my grade. There was a lot of bullying towards my culture and my skin color, which made it hard to make friends. I became pretty introverted, but being exposed to Des Moines kids from Roosevelt, North, and East has really been beneficial.
And the students spoke about their impressions of Ramadan before they decided to take part in organizing the American Iftar dinner.
I'd definitely say I didn't have the best portrayal of it, and I feel as though that does correlate with the current media view of it. But as I went through this experience, especially with Fez, I learned that, not everybody's a bad person. Sometimes the bad people do stick out, and that does occur. But meeting some great people through this program, or this event, I should say, has just changed my outlook completely.
I came in really excited. I did not know much about Ramadan or Islamic culture at all, and so I was really intrigued and interested in getting to know a different culture and having friends like Fez who will have an open conversation with you and answer any question you have. It does really help. I never thought poorly upon any religion. I've always just respected every single one and known that everyone has their differences and accepted all, but I honestly didn't really know.
In the conversation, Fez told me where he was when he had the idea, which led to the Iftar dinner, and others told me about the moments they realized the dinner was not just a cool idea, but actually incredibly important.
I started reaching out to people, starting around November, and then all the kids started helping me with it in March.
Mm-hmm. So as everybody's been involved in this, give me that one moment where you realized, okay, I'm doing something that is pretty cool.
When I posted it on Instagram, and one of my best friends who's Muslim swiped up and she's like, that's pretty amazing, and I'm proud that you're doing that.
I think the most pivotal moment on this event has been truly when somebody from my school messaged me directly and was like, wow, I never expected somebody from your political beliefs to be in such an event. And it was truly inspiring because it is indeed bipartisan. And coming from the heartland of Iowa nice is what I think Fez was talking about earlier.
Yep.
And it was just truly an amazing moment.
Fez Zafar and his fellow organizers of the American Iftar dinners are from Des Moines, Iowa. Read more at our website, immigrationforum.org. This is Only in America. I'm Ali Nurani. Hector Barajas never abandoned his dream of coming back to the United States. This past April, after 14 years in Tijuana, he made it back. A U.S. Army veteran whose family arrived here from Mexico when he was 7, Hector was deported after he committed a crime, a consequence of the drug and alcohol abuse which followed his military service. Hector has since received a pardon from the governor of California, earned his citizenship, and returned home to his family in Compton, California. He told me how he's become an advocate for undocumented immigrants who want to serve in the military.
When I served in the military, there was people that were Dominicans or Mexican Americans, but nobody ever asked anybody if you were an immigrant or not. It was never something that we talked about or that was brought up. I mean, you were there, you were just serving, and you were from California, you're Hispanic, but that was it. But never came up, are you an immigrant from Dominican Republic? To be honest with you, that subject never came up.
Everybody was there for the same purpose.
Yeah, basically everybody was in the military. Nowadays, it's something that's being focused on more. If you're an immigrant soldier or working on the citizenship while you're in the military, but back then, it was just you served and that was it. I'm guessing everybody assumed that everybody was a citizen.
And while you're in the military, why didn't you become a citizen if that was one of the promises, if you will, of why you originally enlisted?
Sure, it wasn't a driving force. I was more focused on just doing everyday soldier activities or field exercises or getting ready for deployment if needed. It wasn't a driving force. I thought I was an automatic citizen at one point, and then I eventually did my homework. I was not a citizen. I did start the paperwork, but I didn't follow through on it. I just I got the fingerprints on, filled out the paperwork. Just didn't follow through on it, and so it's my responsibility as an individual, but I also feel that the military, because we do everything from counseling our soldiers on their insurance, on their power of attorney, whether your physical fitness is up to par, and citizenship was never brought up.
So then you're in Mexico, and what leads you to make the decision that you're going to advocate for your return?
It was a long, long road, but I just kept pushing and pushing, and it was very difficult at times because I could have given up. And there was times when I ended up being homeless for a while too in Tijuana, and on the streets for a while. I opened up the support house, and that led to connecting with organizations, legislators, and all the process of becoming an advocate and all that was just a personal growth that's, I'm still learning. And
so tell me about the support house you set up in Tijuana.
Sure. The support house was initially supposed to be just a place for veterans to stay. It was just basically an apartment, my apartment, just offering, if you got nowhere to go, you can come here. There was no mission statement. There was no schedule. There was no rules. It was just, kind of. So, that was not a good idea. I changed my mind frame. I decided that we had to have a mission. We had to have schedule, rules, duties, just like in the military, and that progressed. And then just getting organized. I started from writing a little list of deported veterans literally on a piece of paper to actually documenting them like in spreadsheets, start, doing a database, pushing for VA benefits, and basically doing a lot of footwork for myself that helped and in turn helped out others. And, before we started doing our work, none of the veterans would have access to their VA benefits or even file for the VA benefits. And now they can get their pension compensation. We have volunteer counselors. We have the housing, of course, working directly with the ACLU. So we have access to legal resources. So, there's been a lot of progress and a lot of awareness. So we've been, like I said, it's just been growing and growing. And now we're slowly being connected with other organizations like the National Immigration Forum, and just connecting with different people that can advocate to bring home our deported veterans and in general to hopefully make a change.
What are the things that need to change?
One of the things that needs to change is, and it depends on what advocates are, there's people who have different feelings about it, but basically citizenship should be automatic. That's one of them. Or that there's a program. There's always been a process to become a citizen, but not a program that follows every single person and educates them, and that sits them down and at one point tells them, if you don't, do you waiver your citizenship, or do you know that you can be deported? There has to be some kind of program or an educated program that tells these guys and pulls them away and that follows them and tracks them. Because if nobody tells these guys, hey, by the way, this is what you need to do, or this is the process, or maybe even a little nudge, these guys will fall through the cracks. Or let's say a guy gets deployed to Afghanistan. The last thing on his mind is worried about making sure citizenship is, while you're out there fighting in the sand or, in the jungles. Yeah, that's the last thing on your mind is citizenship.
Hector, thank you very, very much for spending some time. Thank you very much for your service, but also just, for your advocacy to change the system.
Okay.
All right, you too, man. Hector Barajas is a former U.S. serviceman and now finally an American citizen. There's more about Hector at our website, immigrationforum.org. Only in America is produced by Emily Chow and Regina Medina. The executive producer is Kathleen Farrell. I'm Ali Nirani. Happy Independence Day, everybody.